join me on a day out in Georgetown, Penang. We caught the bus from our hotel to the Gen Hotel in the middle of Penang, and we hired a driver named Arun. For the hours, I can't remember how long he took us around, but he stayed with us all day. And for the four of us, he only charged us about 200 ringgit. We didn't really have set places on where we wanted to go. We had a few suggestions, and he took us there and stayed outside for most of the time. God love him. Our first stop was the Blue Mansion. I wish the camera picked up how blue it actually is in real life. It is stunning. So I think it cost us about 10 ringgit each to do a self-guided tour. Here is the foyer. It's huge, but it's so hot. So this mansion was built in the 19th century to a man named Xiong Fat Zi. I'm so sorry. So the mansion is now a World Heritage Site of Georgetown, and the man who owned it, Xiong Fat Shi, I would always pronounce his name wrong, I'm so sorry. He's a real rags to riches story. All of his life is displayed in the top area of the mansion, and you can read his story of his rags to riches and how he came to be this pillar of the community. Just quickly, this is a buffet for the hotel guests because it is actually a hotel as well. Nothing was set out yet, but I had to have a sticky beak, obviously. This was a little bar just located on the bottom floor as well. And this is, I think, the courtyard for hotel guests only. It looked very quiet and very beautiful. There should be two courtyards, so one on each side of the Blue Mansion. So as I was saying, upstairs you'll find rooms filled with information on this mansion and how it came to be. Climbing these stairs in 35-degree Celsius heat was criminal. It was absolute criminal. So we're just climbing the stairs now, as you can see still. And on these little landings, you'll see display cabinets where they'll display things that they had kept and found after they restored the mansion. So this is a restaurant called Indigo. This is open to the public for lunch and dinner, I believe. The menu looked quite yummy, but we had no time. It was too early in the day for us to eat there. But I loved how it looked on the outside. This is some of the information about the Blue Mansion and how it came to be, and the information on the Chang Yu Winery. So the owner of the Blue Mansion Z actually founded and established the Chang Yu Winery back in 1892. I had no idea. The mansion has been featured in heaps of films, including Indochine, Road to Dawn, The Blue Mansion, and most recently The Crazy Rich Asians. So these display cases are full of things that they had kept from the restoration after Z's death in 1916. The mansion kind of went into disarray after he had died, and after his last son died, the mansion was actually sold to a small group of Penang conservationists. It took like half a decade to restore this whole mansion. The good thing is the restoration didn't change anything about the mansion. It only changed what needed to be changed, and a lot of it was reused and upcycled, and obviously kept, as you could have seen, back in that clip. So these were the banisters of the stairs, I think, and then it just goes into all about his life. He was very well respected. He was actually a member of Parliament at one point in his life as well. And this is a cafe that's situated in the courtyard, the main courtyard, outside the Blue Mansion. It was really cute, but it was very, very muggy because of all those trees. We need to move on to Little India. Little India is exactly how it sounds. Just streets full of beautiful, beautiful clothing stores, jewelry stores, a lot of Indian street food as well. They had the Bollywood music, is what I call it. It's probably not what it's called, playing in the background. It actually felt like I was in India, even though I've never been to India. It was only a quick trip because there was only a couple of streets to look at. When I did my research on Little India, I found out that the oldest Hindu temple is located here. And I had no idea when I was there, and I was quite upset when I found out that we didn't get to go see it. So here we have the Chu Jetty. So the Chu Jetty is one of 5 clan jetties left. So back in the 19th century, the Chu jetties were built to house, the clans and the families. I think there were 8 clan jetties built, and 2 had burnt down. So there's 5 or 6 left now. I can't remember what I've read now. The Chu Jetty houses 75 elevated houses, a community hall, and tourist facilities, and they're all linked by elevated wooden walkways all over water. So when I was filming this, I didn't actually realise I was filming into people's houses, and after I found out, I felt so bad. I actually did not mean to film into their houses. As you can see, there's heaps of touristy little cafes and shops and stuff like that. It is very narrow in the walkways, and it can get crowded, so just be careful of that. And this is a temple, I think, in the middle of the jetties, or maybe at the beginning of them. I'm not too sure. I cannot remember now. All little shops and stuff like that. There's just a lot of touristy kind of knickknacks that you can buy. They're all very, very cute though. I'm not sure how long the jetty is. It is quite long. And as I said, it's quite hot as well. There I am just looking into people's houses like a nosy Parker. So back in the 19th century, when the jetties were built, each was run by a different family, and they were named after the surnames of each family. I'll put them on the screen here. And each jetty was controlled by said family, and fees needed to be paid to the family to use the jetties. Even though it was built in the 1800s, I didn't see any blemishes on the boardwalks or anything like that. And it was just so nice to see the water and the harbour like this. It's something that I would visit again for sure and really take it in, this time through my eyes. So now we're in Armenian Street. It actually used to be called Malay Street back in the day, but by around 1808 it was renamed to Armenian Street because of the influx of Armenian traders who lived along that road. But around 1937, the Armenians had left the street and the Chinese had gradually taken over and built the clan houses. These days it's a popular tourist spot because they have shops like this. I think I got a bag from this shop. It was such a nice little knick-knack shop. I love knick-knack shops. They're my favourite. I loved the outside of this temple called the Yap Temple. I think next door was the Camera Museum. I didn't go in there though, but I would have liked to go in there. This street was my favourite street. I just loved the umbrellas on top, and I loved the colours and how it looked underneath the sunlight. It's a very Instagrammable and photo opportunistic street, and it was nice and cool underneath the umbrellas just for a little bit. Yeah, that was my favourite street, I think. And there were so many cool little cafes and small shops and coffee shops all along Armenian Street, and it was actually really, really popular. And they had like little tuk-tuks, and the men would just take you around on the tuk-tuks. We didn't stop here, but my favourite colour is pink, and I really, really liked that building. So I thought I would just include it because I love the architecture, but I also really, really like that colour. Our next stop was the reclining Buddha temple. This temple is the most popular Thai style temple in Malaysia. This temple is well known for that reclining Buddha there. He is 33 meters, about 108 feet, and the temple was found in 1845 by a Thai Buddhist monk. So these Buddha statues and murals, they're depicting the events in the Buddhist life and were made by Thai artists. The significance of the reclining Buddha signifies the end of life on their deathbed, with a serene look on their face and their ready to go into the afterlife. The admission is free into the temples, but there are donation boxes for you to make donations if you so happen to sway that way. Our final stop of the day was the Penang Batik factory. We were offered a free tour out in the back in the factory where they hand make these beautiful artwork. I'm not sure what they actually turned out to be. So basically we learnt that what he's drawing with is wax, hence why the factory's outside, because they need the heat to keep the wax melted. They also told us how to spot fakes as well. With the real hand-drawn wax, you will see on the bottom when you turn over of whatever's being made, you'll see that the wax and the colour that they use actually seeps through onto the other side. So she showed us the different stages of the artworks and what was being made. So this one had the watercolour through the design. So the wax actually does stop the watercolour from seeping into the other colours as well, so the colours don't actually mix, they still stay where they're meant to. This one is about 80% finished. I think they have to go in layers and wait for it to dry, then do another layer and then wait for it to dry again. The people were really, really nice and let us watch them work, and the tour was very informative. I really enjoyed it. Here's just a photo of one that was hand drawn and out to dry, and this is a finished one. She also showed us some of the stamps that they use as well, if they need a more intricate kind of pattern, and that's the whole wall back there with all the stamps. And of course we're ending at Bora Bora. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.